Herkese
Merhabalar.
First of all, I would like to welcome you all. I hope you will enjoy our panel today.
Yapıyor olacağım ve
I will be the moderator of our panel, and we have very distinguished keynote speakers here, and they will be here today. The topic of our panel, the impact of the innovation on the economy, and I would like to invite our speakers, Mr. Usal Shahbaz, the director of the working group on the internet policies from TEPAV, Canan Çakmakçı, the president of the Big Tent Cyber Park. Welcome you all. The founder of the Positron and the Melek Innovation, Fatih İşbecer, and also the board of the administration, the head of the administration board of Markafoni, Mr. Sina Afra, and my name is Arda Kutsal. And I don't have a place to sit down. Okay, no problem. I will take my personal belongings. Welcome you all, first of all. We all welcome here today, actually. Three of our guests are coming from Istanbul. You are with us today. You are coming from different areas, different fields, actually. As for me, I will be making a presentation on the impact of the innovation on the country's economy. However, we have different topics. For example, Fatih İşbecer, we will talk about mobile technology and development and research policies will be on the agenda. And also the policy part, we will be talking about the policy part. You have a working group. Let's start with the working group, the head of the director of the working group on the internet policies, and you are working on a project. And when we talk about the impact of the innovation on the economy, and it has many intersections with our sector. So maybe we can start with this topic together with you. First of all, I would like to firstly mention about the TEPAV. TEPAV is the research foundation of Turkish economy policies. We establish a working group on the internet policies, and we hold certain meetings, and we prepare the report, and in the very short time we will be announcing our report. And this report is based on the opinions of the members of this working group. We are dealing with the innovation point of view in the internet medium, and we have a general picture during the meetings of our working group. The young population in Turkey uses the internet very effectively, and we have a very improving market share here in Turkey, and we have social media, and we have a very high level of usage of the social media like the Twitter and the Facebook. On the other hand, the young entrepreneurs are using the internet very effectively because it has a very huge impact on the entrepreneurship, and they are easily introduce themselves into the market by using the internet, and we will touch upon this issue in upcoming moments. And the internet access is getting bigger and bigger. And in Turkey, we also make a research on the number of emails in Turkey, and the 42% of the emails has no attachment. However, this number is 22 in EU. While we are consuming the internet access very fastly, on the other hand, we have very strong infrastructure, the industrial infrastructure in Turkey, and however, we realize that our industries are not efficiently using the internet access. So we need to convey our energy, the synergy, into the economy as well. Therefore, not only dealing with the websites or the social areas, we need to improve the e-commerce, and also these areas should be used very efficiently by the entrepreneurs as well. Therefore, we highlighted our research in this field in order to make the economic policies more meaningful on terms of internet usage. And we have four main important pillars. We have some deficiencies in our legal infrastructures, and also we are improving our physical infrastructure, and also we have some problems in the working areas, and also we have certain problems in the support from the governmental institutions and the financial aids. And I briefly would like to explain this. For example, for the legal infrastructure, we have a we have a law no 5651, and in those law regulations, the internet medium, the term of internet is mainly expressed. However, the institutions are using the internet only for providing certain services, or the lawmaker only uses the internet in order to provide certain services or to follow up with the criminal cases or something like this. However, this is not an efficient usage of internet. There is not a detailed usage level of the internet by the lawmakers. We are insufficient and in terms of the legal infrastructures. Therefore, we need to regulate our internet usage depending on our law system. We have some unsystematic areas in our law systems, and when it comes to that terms, we have certain problems. And the law number 5651, the market share of Turkey is now $12,000 billion nowadays, depending on this law. This law is very good at the previous works. However, it doesn't respond to our needs in today's world. So we have the public share in this market, and we need to broaden the law. Therefore, we are working on this issue, and the relevant ministry is working on this issue, and in the upcoming days there will be a new package law. These kinds of fields are designed in order to reach more users and the many people working in this field, because when you have an open system in this field, then the people will have no handicaps working in the internet medium. And we also have no law and for certain areas, and this is another problem. For example, the data security. We have no law about the data security, and this is another problem. While dealing with the certain laws that we have, while trying to improve certain laws, on the other hand, we are trying to introduce new laws in order to have more efficient internet usage and more efficient internet economy in our country. Therefore, we have to finish our infrastructure in this field, and we have companies working in the internet medium, and we should, while making such a law, you should introduce certain flexibility to the companies that are working on the internet medium. And the Mr. Prime Minister also mentioned about this research and development activities, and he also supported those activities, and he also mentioned that the internet usage and the law on the internet should have some flexibility, because by doing so we will be able to go one step further and will start to use very efficiently about the data that we have. Considering the European Union, when we compare the Turkey with the European Union countries, we need to regulate our data exchanges with those countries, and if we do this, and then I will talk about the physical infrastructure for briefly, and then I will continue with my presentation. I want to give an example. We are talking about the big infrastructure projects, and I believe that they all will be very successful. The turnover of the third bridge is the $6 billion actually. However, the investment cost is much more lower. And also we have another project like the Channel Istanbul, and it has $10 million turnover, the investment cost. And talking about the wideband internet usage in all around the Turkey, the cost of this project is between the 15 to 10,000 billion dollar, and this is much more less than the cost that I mentioned before. These are very important projects, and we need to I believe that Turkey actually needs a broadband project that should be completed in a very short time, because this is our current need in today's world. If you want to expand our power to all around the world, then we should improve our physical infrastructure for the beginning, and this is the first need. We have an example, maybe you know it. Which one is more expensive, 1 kilogram of microchip or 1 kilo of iron? This is a very common example talking about this situation. When we considering the Facebook stock exchange, it is $117 billion. However, when we consider the per person cost, it is $90.5. And when we consider the cost of 1 kilo iron, it is $0.6. And then when we consider the cost, the price of the 1 kilo of microchip, I made some research, and I found out that the 2 Intel Core microchip is $1,600 in USA. I'm not sure how much data those microchip will have. However, in order to create a 1 kilo of data, we need two external disks of 2 terabytes of external disks of 2 terabytes, and this will be the equal. This will provide the data that we need. I believe that it has a very huge and very important potential, considering the Turkey's situation in this field, the service-based softwares and the other stuff in this field will contribute a lot. And I believe that the country's economy will improve day by day, and these areas will contribute a lot to our country's economy, because we have many investments, and we are talking about investments in the broadband internet access. So while doing this, we need some incentives which are based on internet, which are specifically based on internet. We have technoparks and incentives and entrepreneurship. However, many of them are in research and development based, or the informatics based research and development. However, we need to make some internet based research and development and internet based projects, because I believe that internet, and as the Big Tent Cyber Park, this is the core of this world. Therefore, we would like to continue with the president of the Big Tent Cyber Park. What do you think about the Turkey situation? All the opportunities are enough for Turkey, and what is more needed in Turkey? We would like to take your opinion about this situation. First of all, we need to look at our situation. We have research and development programs and incentive mechanism, and these are at a very good level. Of course, we have certain negative aspects of the system. For example, we have different companies, different institutions, and different systems. Therefore, we need to combine all these elements, and this is one of the problems that we face. However, all those research and development incentives are all for the new entrepreneurships. Therefore, certain programs are inefficient to provide certain services. According to the feedbacks that we received, we are well aware of the fact that we need to improve our research and development programs. For example, for the starting point, we have the research and development. However, we need to improve our products. We need to be more corporate. Therefore, this system is not enough, and we need to fix this system. We need to add certain new point in order to make our work and production more corporate on the economy and internet basis. However, the good point is that we have a very good incentive mechanism, and we have very enthusiastic entrepreneurs in this field, and this incentive mechanism has a main platform, which is Technopark. Technoparks in Turkey are established especially in the universities, and the technoparks are supporting the private sector's research and development costs, and they are established in or around the universities. For example, the Big Tent Cyberpark is one of the 5 technoparks in Ankara, and also we have more than 50 technoparks in Turkey which were announced by the ministries, and they are very active and operational. We have 5 active technopark in Ankara, and Big Tent Cyberpark is one of them. Also, Big Tent Cyberpark is one of the most important technoparks in Turkey with approximately 200 new companies. What are the services of Technopark? Technopark is providing new services and new supportive areas to the companies that are new entrepreneurs in the system, in the market.
Kuluçka merkezi bu da aslında
We have an incubation center, which is a startup platform. And this incubation center is supporting the new companies which are 0 to 2 years, and we have 60 firms in this respect. And as a Technopark, we are trying to provide all administrational or executional or financial services which are tailor-made for those newly born firms within our incubation center. And we are well aware of the fact that it is a very new sector. It is a very new center. And therefore, we are trying to close the gap in a very fast manner. When we reach to a certain level, sorry for this interruption, we need to change this microphone. Therefore, I would like to give the floor to the other speakers. Everyone actually know who our speakers are, and you are all entrepreneurships, and you are all participants. And then we will go by order. Fatih İşbecer is the founder of the Positron and also has the Google's. He is the CEO and the founder of the Positron, and I personally know his works and studies. I visited New York, and during my visit, he visited New York, and I know him. He's very keen on the technology, and he's working especially on the mobile sector. And what are the innovative sectors, innovative studies in the mobile sector? Could you please give some information about all those mobile studies in Turkey. It is really important the point that you are considering, the point that you are evaluating the situation in Turkey. Turkey is the country where there is a high level of watching TV when we compare to the world situation, and the the internet consumption is depending on the internet services in Turkey, and therefore we face certain problems because the Turkey is a TV watching country, and now people are interested in the internet usage. Therefore, you may be stuck in the beginning part, or you may have a boost in the internet usage technology. Therefore, you should, as the company is providing internet services, you should provide such a good service that people will face no problem while accessing to the internet, and then this will be an incentive, this will be an encourage for them to have an access to the internet, and then people start to use internet more frequently. For example, maybe we can increase the internet quota. This will be an encouraging way to make people use more internet. For example, considering the human history, comparing with the America and the Turkey, they are using the cloud information systems, and they may have the certain opportunities. They may have the same opportunities by using the cloud systems, and we have different electrical infrastructure, different voltage. Therefore, you should set your devices, your generators or such devices according to your electrical infrastructure. If you are not know the geographical situation of your new data center, then you are trying to have an uninterrupted internet access in the newly centered areas. Therefore, you should firstly need to increase the level of the internet, the necessary infrastructure. While doing this, you should make a research about this situation. You should make a research. You should look into the details of the steps and the phase of the structure that you would like to set up. For example, while you are going to a certain place, you are evaluating the stairs, the road, the way to the school. You are evaluating every step on which are on your way. Dealing with the mobile sector, dealing with the internet sector, you should do the same. You should do the same evaluation, and then you will be able to more successful in the mobile world. And the mobile sector is an opportunity for us. We are lucky actually, because it boosts the internet connection and the internet usage. For example, we are making certain projects. We are trying to encourage the new engineers, and we are trying to drag their attention to our mobile sector. In order to do this, we are making very interesting and attractive projects and works. For example, we are using some creative balloons or different kinds of apparatus in order to take the attention of the young engineers, which are the newcomers to the market. For example, we are trying to drag their attention to the new devices, for example, to the Google or to different fields of using the Google. For example, we are working with the İşbank, with the Tap Bank and the Yapı Kredi Bank, and we are using the Google Plus, and we are all together on this sector. We have two users in Turkey. One is me and the other one is the Mr. Nazım Kaya. And also windsurf is also together with us, and he is also using it. We have 3D printers, and we are using our different devices in different sectors like the football. For example, the 3D printer is for me a very groundbreaking device, and there will be no spare part sector. There will be no more spare part sector, and this will be the 3D printer system will be a very groundbreaking system that were introduced to the market. And also we have different kind of materials and the devices which will serve in the same way. There we have very interesting innovations. For example, in the USA we know the situation, and we are trying to catch up with the world. This is not a joke. We are trying to do our best, and we are trying to encourage our young population. The young population should follow up the sector, and they should be more entrepreneurship in this regard. Actually, this is the preparation area for Turkey. This is the beginning, the incubation area, and I believe that in the very near future, Turkey will dramatically increase, will dramatically develop in this respect. For example, a few years ago, when we talk about the technology, the only device that we know was the mobile phones or the smartphones. However, then we were introduced to the mobile internet, and this is a new generation's tool actually. And we are today talking about the mobile devices. However, the concept of the mobile devices are also changed, because it is not only the mobile phones. We have different kinds of mobile devices right now, like the wristwatches or the different kind of equipment. These are all mobile devices in today's world, and we will very in the sooner future, we will have the internet connection to all our mobile devices, and this will be a huge development. And I believe that Turkey has a huge potential in these areas. This is another topic actually to deal with. Well, considering the web part of Turkey, do you think that is there any innovative works in Turkey considering the web studies? There are three countries which are doing good things, best things in the web technology: the Israel, United States of America, and the Sweden. On the other countries, there are very a few studies about the innovation or the web studies. However, considering the America is actually the pioneer of the innovation. And the reason is that they have a very good culture of the incentives. They have a financial infrastructure, very strong financial infrastructure in the United States. And also there are the stock exchange systems and different kinds of supportive channels that are supporting the incentives and the entrepreneurs in the web sector.
I think there are three innovative centers in Turkey. One is Ekşi Sözlük, two, confession.com, three, food court. These are the innovative products of Turkey. The internet in the world, I mean in Germany and Poland and Russia, the logic is the same. They're not very different. They only have a few innovative companies. But generally speaking, they're adapting the systems which are actually recognized worldwide. Speaking of international comparisons, I have the following observation. Everybody's talking about infrastructure and incentive. I agree with them. However, we need two more ingredients to cook this meal. One, we don't have a entrepreneurship culture in Turkey. That's very low. Yes, people are trying to get in. People like to be contractors in Turkey, but just like in Fatih project, you know, There is the 3D printer that may destroy the industry. You know, we don't have this culture very much in our country, but the other countries have it. This is a very long path to go. We need role models, we need success stories from Turkey. Secondly, the financing infrastructure of Turkey is a disaster. I am not going to lie to you. We have to put the name on it. There may be 40 or 50 angel investors which are investing in internet, but those who only invest into internet is only 2 to 3 companies. This is very low. Why? They don't have the exit. I mean, the internet companies, a big portion of them, they are always purchased by the international companies. For example, Ticketmaster purchased Biletix, and then eBay came, Amazon, Vespress, and some other companies, big companies, invested in our sector. In domestic market, the purchases are so low. I mean, there might be little stuff like Dawn Group or Mine.net may have made some purchases in the 3 to 4 years, but if you sum that up, it wouldn't even make 10. What is the exit? It is very important to go up one step. We don't have a technology exchange market. It is nearly impossible. I'm talking about an internet startup. In the last 2 years of 3, you should have some profits. But in London, in Hong Kong, you don't have these limitations. We don't have an stock market, and procurements are very little, near to none in domestic market. If somebody comes today, you know, let's think that Google is not invented at all. If one of you came with the idea of Google, you would not be able to find investment. But in USA, most probably, you can find $5 billion of investment in 2 weeks. So this is actually also related to the financial investment. We are very weak at those aspects. I agree. I would like to make an addition to Mr. Sinan's comments. That's very right. You know, if you try to count, you can only find 50 Angel, 2 BC in public incentive programs. They are all leaving internet out of incentive. Technoparks do not take up those projects. That's what people say, and that's right, because there's always the R&D precondition. The software is included, but referees may not think that these are enough research and development in terms of software. But the public incentive programs are leaving these out. That's bad. But when you take a look at the existing angel investment sector, they are all focusing on the mobile internet sector. I feel that it is good that technoparks are excluding those. This is an area, mobile and internet sector, where the fauna for investors are increasing. I have. This is a controlled experiment, whether the public incentives are good or bad. You are also working on this. I'm thinking of. But can I ask you one thing? Now we have our audience. I wonder about the profile of our audience. We have no idea. Who are students? Could you raise your hands? Everybody's students. What about entrepreneurs? Who is both student and entrepreneur? Student and entrepreneur. Very few. I just saw a hand like that. For entrepreneur, he was waving your hand like this. Yeah, so that person is not very aware. I may be an entrepreneur. Do we have academicians? Okay, that's nice. the number of academicians is more than the number of entrepreneurs. Both academicians and entrepreneurs, do we have those? Okay, another waving hand. Let's go on. Here in Turkey, public likes to give money directly to the entrepreneur. In 2005 and 2007, in the past, that was a good thing because we were not talking about entrepreneurship at all. But now it is a very past approach. There is one bad aspect about it, just like Ms. Canan said. A bureaucrat would like, when a bureaucrat gives the money to the entrepreneur, this money actually belongs to the taxpayer, they have to control this money. This should be transparent, and you're taking the taxpayers' money and you are transferring this money to a company which we don't know anything about. What happens then? We need objective criteria in research and development. So one product should be developed. There are some necessary milestones. Our academicians on here, what do? We set up a jury consisting of academicians. There are professors, there are associate professors. So they control the situation. But when we talk about internet and other stuff than internet, a big portion of the new incentives, they don't have R&D. They carry one process to another place, or they develop new process. And they may be about making the processes Turkish. This is not a problem. Let me give you an example out of internet. Starbucks. They did not invent coffee. They don't do it better, but they do it in a good way. Or Marco Fani. Perceptional stuff. We never asked for public incentive. Did you? No? I don't agree. In the last 15 years, I established 15 companies and I did not require support from state. There is no obligation for that. But when you are providing state assistance, I think it's not necessary to directly give it to the research and development. You can do it to them or to universities as well, because R&D is produced in universities as well as in companies. I think the current system, if the state continues to give money directly to the entrepreneur, this is what is going to go on. We need aspects of ecosystem like angel investors. If that can take place, investors will take their money into the business as well. And if they have also some funds from the state, the money can be canalized in a better way. And the bureaucrat will be feeling more relieved. I would like to add one thing. I think the state should provide grants for research and development in the country. But for an entrepreneur, we don't need grants. That's what you said. This is establishing an individual capital with the money of the taxpayer. When we speak of technology entrepreneurship, there is a low threshold. So if you don't have the approach of entrepreneurship, you will not have entrepreneurs. People come. They present to Galata angel investors. They say, I couldn't get the grant. They just close up the project. But that's not the case in Sweden. I'm not talking about great VCs or angel investors. That if a person cannot get grant, they go to Bern, they go to London, they try to disseminate their information. I think we're very extroverted in Turkey. I think we have a huge domestic market, so we don't really feel the need to sell it abroad. Our domestic market is disaster. We don't even have one. I mean, each company growing in Turkey has to make exports. Turkish people hate to buy from Turkish market. You can sell everywhere, all around the world, of your softwares. You cannot sell it to Turkey. It's also like that. It's like that in B2B, but not B2C. This is always the egg or the chicken question. Sorry for interrupting you, but a company, a Turkish company, without exportation cannot grow healthily. In retail there is the shelf cost, and they just go bankrupt the day they open a shop. They give some products to local markets. They are not possible to fulfill. This is always like a fist fight. They always think that I am making this money on have a lot of money. We always resent our partner's gain. So we try to. You're talking about B2B. I think we have also problems in B2C. I think we shouldn't linger. I guess we should go on this topic because this is important in this sense. What Fatih says is about B2B, but for B2C we have a great market. That is the reason why B2C grew more rapidly. But okay, we have a big domestic market in terms of customers and we have a great potential. But what I'm talking about is as follows. When you're establishing a company, somebody has an idea. If you cannot find 300,000 Turkish lira, you cannot grow. I think self-sufficiency was closed in 2008 in gittigidiyor.com, Yemek Sepeti, or Dot Group. 3 universities came together. You cannot have it. Maybe in softwares. I'm not sure in that. You need capital to make things bigger. And in terms of capital, Turkey is very weak. I don't think this is the blame or responsibility area of the state. Our entrepreneurs have these horse blinds. We have little investors, we have little supporters. So we should go to abroad as well. We should separate one thing. This threshold is about software. If you're talking about a biomedical support, if it's about electronic equipment, you should multiply it by 10. And in that sense, a new graduate student, without earning any money 3 to 4 years, cannot go on. The state support is beneficial, but, there's the saying, only God can give without taking any. So I think the state supports and assistances are necessary. The state supports are of priority, and there is the expectations in that. We have to think about those. I would like to add one more thing. Since we're in Ankara, Ankara is the city of state, I think the state should not provide grants. It should be an investor. There are the examples in USA, for example. CIA has an investment company for more than 10 years. Total investment of that is double of the internet investments in Turkey in total. This is something that might be beneficial for their country in the future. And we have also lack of communication between Istanbul and Ankara. I'm a person coming from internet sector. In Ankara, there are at least 6 to 7 authorities you can go in Ankara in different ministries or institutions. I don't know whether they are responsible for internet and mobile technologies. We need them to be combined under the same roof. This shouldn't be just relevant to internet. In each field, we have a very fragmented structure. I think this is due to our tradition. We need the coordination to be set, and especially in a technical area like internet, we need coordination among actors, because there is the economic meaning of technology, but there is the technical sense as well, so we need coordination among them. There are some success stories in different fields, like a UIC mechanism was established to improve the environment of investment, public to private partnership. We need strong mechanisms like that in internet to bring public and internet together. This is very important for policymakers. Can we get one question? I think we're out of our time. Let's take one question. You may have the microphone. Not a question, but it will be an explanation. A microphone to Mr. Typhon, please. Excuse us, we had to leave to have talks with Mr. Van Surf. I would like to express my opinion on this field. There are different institutions just for internet. This is not about just internet, but it's about ICT, and it's a great handicap. I agree with that. State providing grants. I think rather than that, we should provide infrastructure. I agree with that as well, but I would like to add one more thing. Last year, something went operational. This is a fund. This is operational, and it is around 300 million liras. $150 million. It is called R&D fund. And this fund is taken from Information and Communication Technologies Authority. This is mostly given to SMEs. And about that, we have had around 300 projects that were presented to us, 330 university academicians evaluated those, and then it was presented to the R&D board, which I'm a member of, and 40 of them were provided grant with. These are about informatics, space, and air. These are grants up to 10 million liras, which will not be returned. This can be a topic of discussion whether it should be returned or not, but we have mostly focused on SMEs. In the first, we have completed the first evaluation, and we will move on to the second level. For I think the SMEs should be encouraged. I am encouraging them to benefit from this fund that I mentioned. Thank you very much. We are following them. Everybody is against these funds, but we are very alert about those. We have used COSGAP and TÜBİTAK institutions' grants. We have learned the documentation and everything. I think excluding some sectors is okay, but we shouldn't put that grant. We have a different definition of R&D, because in Turkey, if you are localizing something from the scratch, I mean cloning is also accepted as R&D, and this is a great opportunity for small inventors. You don't need to invent anything. Take one thing and then just improve it. Microphone, please. Without a microphone, we cannot interpret the gentleman. That will come in the future. That is what we are expecting. I think all the evaluations are necessary. I mean, what I say is, after receiving the grant, you shouldn't complain about too much documentation because this is a part of the job. That is what I tried to say. We can entertain one question if there is any. I saw you first. Microphone, please. If this was my conference, I would like to give floor to every one of you, but I don't want to extend the conference. So, everybody is putting the blame on Google today, no? Google doesn't allow us. No, that's just a joke. One student and one academician. You were academician, right? Okay, then that's not what I wanted to do. Please. I agree with what Ms. Canan said. We are a company working in Big Tent Cyber Park at a home camp. There was a speech. The startup companies are receiving grants from different institutions, and 5 years of work plan and financial plan is asked. Why does the startup companies go to the angel investors? Why? Because they don't need those. That goes more professionally. But let's think of a startup company receiving a grant from the Ministry of Science and Transportation. They are asked a 5-year of work plan. If they had that, they would not need the fund from the state at all. Just like what Mr. Sina said. Providing a 10 million lira grant to a company individually. Rather than that, we should give like 1 million Turkish lira to 100 company. We should share this money because I think that would be more advantageous in terms of startup companies. I would like to add one thing. Angel investors are receiving shares, they're becoming partners. I think we are speaking too much against of these state assistances. That is how I made my company, State is giving you a grant. This is like a family, But when state gets the documents that you ask from, they just close up the file. They don't want anything else. Angel investor can see the 5-year plan, which a startup cannot see. That is why they don't need documentation, but they are measuring that. And then they are giving you money, and then they're becoming partners to your company. If company the state wants some scientific documentation and state does not get any share of your company, this is up to the preference of the entrepreneur. Maybe entrepreneur can go to public or to angel investor or to both. I don't think we should compare them. COSGAP institution has better grants. They can be provided on low level but with very easy conditions. I agree with some parts of what you said, but if I take the floor, I would take forever, so I'm not going to say. Can I add one thing? It's very important. In a state grant, without foreseeing, without traceability, without transparency, you cannot go on. These are very natural processes, so you need one thing. When you are transferring public money, you should have the ecosystem elements. There is the individual participation investment system. They are benefiting from a tax advantage. If that can be made possible, the gentleman will control what they know the best, will audit that, and the money will be audited in a better way. Unfortunately, I cannot get any other questions, and I have to stop right now. Thank you very much for your participation. I know you're around. Everybody can catch up with you to ask further questions. Thank you very much for coming.